So our first conspiracy theory is the fact that Dumbledore and Ron Weasley are actually the same person. Okay, let that sink in a second. So I'm sure you're feeling exactly how I felt, kind of like, are you sure? So here's the proof. One, both of them are described as being very tall and gangly, so they've got long limbs, kind of skinny, and just kind of, I know Ron especially was kind of awkward in his movements because of how gangly he was, but both of them are described as being so. Both of them are described as having blue eyes, which is very, very cool. Strangely enough, apparently Harry only really describes Ron's eye color in like the last book, which is very strange, but anyway, besides the point. Another one is that they are both being described as having a scar on their knee. So Dumbledore just kind of mentions it as an off-topic or as an off comment, and Ron, as we know, kind of injured his leg when he was getting dragged by Sirius Black in the third book or movie, and that's where he got his scar on his knee. So they both have got a scar on their knee. And if you all remember, Harry Potter kind of went back into Dumbledore's memories, and Dumbledore in his younger days was described as having red hair and ultimately being a ginger, like Ron Weasley. So we've got physical description, same hair color, same eye color, same scar. Well, we don't know if it's the same scar, both have got scars on their knees. And something that's very interesting is the fact that Harry Potter has got a very, very good relationship with both characters. Obviously, Ron Weasley is one of his best friends throughout the series, but he also has got a very close relationship with Dumbledore as well that just seems to come about very naturally. That could maybe be attributed to the fact that Dumbledore is actually his best friend in 100 years' time. So we also know that Ron Weasley's wife, or future wife in the time skip, has got experience using a time turner. So he would have access to help because she works in the ministry, but also because she's done it before and she would be able to help him. So that's the conspiracy theory. Reasons why Ron would go back in time, just to help Harry, to be there for him, to steer him in the right direction. And obviously you can't interfere too much. But I think that's basically the conspiracy theory. It's plausible, maybe. But I think it's very, very interesting how they are so similar looking. The second one is Mary Poppins is a graduate of Hogwarts. Now, this one, if you think about it quickly, could make sense. We've got levitating magic in Mary Poppins. We've got a magical mirror in Mary Poppins. And, of course, we've got the enchantment that makes the space in her bag bigger. Remember when Ron, Hermione, and Harry were on the run in the last book, Hermione had cast a spell on her bag. That means she was able to pack a lot of things into a very small looking bag. And Mary Poppins has got the exact same charm on her bag. So to me, that very much shows how she's definitely got the same kinds of magic that we see in the Harry Potter universe. But my biggest thing was, why would she be a nanny for muggles, for kids in our world? And the best answer I could find of this was the fact that once she graduated from Hogwarts, she went into the ministry. She started working for the Ministry of Magic, and she was kind of tasked with finding Muggleborns and kind of introducing them and exposing them to magic before they were ever invited to Hogwarts. And so by the time they got their letter, and by the time they started attending Hogwarts, they'd kind of gotten exposed to the magic already. So it wasn't so much of a huge difference because they'd already had this exposure through Mary Poppins. And it just kind of helped them adapt to going to Hogwarts. And yeah, so I like it. I think it's really, really cool. Not sure if it's plausible necessarily, but I do like the idea of it. It's one of my favorites. Okay, this next one is also a very, very cool one, and I think this one is definitely plausible. I like it. I think this fits in very, very well. So, this conspiracy theory suggests that Hagrid and Aragog have got a very good connection to Newt Scamander. Alright, so this theory basically says that Newt from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that franchise, that Newt was the one who gave Aragog to Hagrid back when Hagrid was still a student at Hogwarts. I really like this because in the movies you can actually hear Aragog say, I came from a distant land in the pocket of a traveller. Okay, distant land, we see Newt all over the world, especially in this new movie as well. He's originally from Hogwarts, obviously, goes to America, and the new movie goes to Germany, so he's been all over the world. He collects magical creatures, of which Aragog is. And I mean, he'd love Hagrid. I mean, if you take Newt and you take Hagrid, I'd watch a series about the two of them bonding over magical creatures. It would be amazing. So I think Newt would absolutely trust Hagrid with raising and caring for one of his magical creatures. Especially, if he wasn't really prepared to take Aragog with him, or he didn't have space in his case or anything. He knew he could trust Hagrid, and I love the connection between them. I 100% give this theory a thumbs up because I think it's great. And yeah, I just really, really love it. I think it's really cool. This next one is another kind of strange one, kind of links to one that we've already done, but I like it. I think it makes a little bit of sense. So, the conspiracy theory is that George Weasley is Willy Wonka. Now, this conspiracy theory mainly takes inspiration from the first Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Willy Wonka, not the Johnny Depp one or the latest one. So in the first one, we can see that Willy Wonka is a little bit more unhinged, if we can say that. But he makes these really, really wonderful sweets. And we can really see how maybe they were able to take inspiration, or we can really see a connection between how Willy Wonka could take inspiration from the wizarding world. We know we have the Weasleys wizards in Diagon Alley. We can see in the movies and through the descriptions in the books how wonderfully inventive the twins are, and I can really see them coming up with the things that we see in the movies. I mean, even Johnny Depp's movies, even the latest Wonka movie, I can really see them coming up with things like that, and they do definitely have a magical aspect to them. I mean, it's just amazing the kinds of things that they can do. Ice cream that never melts, all those kinds of things definitely could take inspiration from Harry Potter. And in the original movie, you can actually see how Willy Wonka has all of his things in his house kind of cut in two. He's got half a sink, half a tub, half a toilet, and this could really show the loss of Fred that George feels, and he just couldn't handle it, and so he kind of went into the direction and became Willy Wonka, still doing his invention, still bringing joy to people, just without his other half, which is heartbreaking. But I think it's nice. I think it's great that he's still able to invent and do what he loves, even if it's without Fred. So I like the idea of it. Also, in the original movie, Wonka struggles to hear out of one of his ears. So, we're holy. So the very last one is one that I think is a little bit far-fetched, but I do see where they're coming from, and it did make me do a double take. So the theory is Crookshanks is actually the Potter's cat, namely Lily's, but the Potter's cat. So we can see when Harry is busy reading a letter from Lily that he finds out that the Potters had a cat. There's a little image, a wizard image of him zooming around in a little broom and, you know, terrorizing the cat. So they definitely had a cat. And there was a big thing, and he actually wonders, like, what happened to the cat? So this theory kind of describes the fact that Crookshanks was the cat, and when the Potters were when Voldemort took them out, trying not to get cancelled, then the Crookshanks was just given to a animal menagerie. And later, when Hermione went looking, she found Crookshanks. And we were introduced to Crookshanks because Ron took Scabbers and put him on the counter, and Crookshanks went insane trying to go after Scabbers. And I mean, why would Crookshanks, who's surrounded by animals all the time, and I mean, animals could eat. I mean, there's birds, there's ferrets, you know. Why is he specifically going after Scabbers? And this theory suggests that it's because Crookshanks knows that Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew. He recognizes the smell. He recognizes him in his animagus form. And I really love that because you can really see how Crookshanks hates Scabbers. Really wants to like take him out, and it's kind of, you know, it's this love he had for the Potters that he wants to get Peter Pettigrew out. And we know through the books especially, not really in the movies, but we know through the books especially, Crookshanks is actually helping Sirius Black. So Crookshanks is not only familiar with Peter Pettigrew and in his animagus form as Scabbers, but also with Sirius Black in his animagus form as the big black dog. Okay, so I really like this as well. I'm not sure if I believe it necessarily, but I think it does tie things together very well. You know, Crookshanks's his ability, it just is his absolute need to just go after Scabbers, you know. And I think him helping Sirius Black, I think it's also really, really great. I mean, he stole Neville's piece of paper for Sirius, and he helped with the Whomping Willow. He helped the kids get in, and yeah, so I think it's a really interesting conspiracy theory. I hope it's true, and yeah, I enjoy Crookshanks as a character. Honestly, I think besides Hedwig, obviously, I think it's one of the really great just pets. I know there's not many of them, but I don't know. I just really, from the beginning, I was like, yeah, Crookshanks, enjoy it. So those are all our conspiracy theories for today. I hope I got you thinking about some of them. Let me know if you agree with any of them, or if you know of another conspiracy theory that really blew your mind. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to do some more research on it. You can expect more Harry Potter content coming forward. I am a huge Harry Potter fan, and I'd love to talk about it some more. But yeah, otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Keep wondering.